Bill Gregory has come in for Jethro Pugh in the Cowboys front four. He's number 77, probably, for pass rush on 3rd and 9. Duhan. Inside the 20-yard line is Bobby Duhan.
Well, hello. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out this video. And welcome to the Gridiron. And before I get started, I just want to say thank you so much to everyone's been watching my videos. I greatly appreciate it. If you could maybe give this video a thumbs up, or maybe leave a comment below, or share the video, it would mean so much to me. But anyway, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out this video. I greatly appreciate it. So we got about a week to go before well, actually, it's not even a week to go. I mean, we only got like, what, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, only 5 days. And Thursday night, Cowboys and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And I'm going to be there. My son's a Cowboy fan, so we're going to go Tampa. We're going to fly down to Tampa Thursday and watch the game, come back Friday in the afternoon here around in the Philadelphia area. But so we got about 5 days. NFL season starts. So I just want to do a video here about what the state of the NFC East is. You know, it's not, obviously it's not what it used to be. You know, I mean, where the NFC really got its, you know, its I don't know, its name, and you know, was I don't want to say back in the day, but I mean, of late, the NFC East, a lot of people call it the NFC least. I mean, we've had some sad teams, you know, some sad division. Last year, I mean, we didn't have one team with a winning record. I mean, I said, if you go back from like when the two leagues merged, the AFL and the NFL in 1970, you could probably go from like 1970 all the way until like probably like 1995, 1996. And in those 25, 26, 27 years right there, you could probably make a good, strong case for every season, all right, where a team from the NFC East could possibly win the Super Bowl. All right. You know, it was the Redskins had times and they were good. The Cardinals, no. But the Cowboys, there were times when the Eagles were good, where you could make a case the Eagles could win the Super Bowl, and obviously the Giants, there were cases there, and, you know, not so much in the 70s, but, you know, when Bill Parcells came around and all, and, you know, you can make cases where the Giants could win the Super Bowl, you know what I mean? So, you know, it's just, it's a little different animal, but, you know, hopefully things are starting to turn, but, I mean, if anything, it'll wind up being, I guess, competitive. You know, you can probably have teams knocking each other off. You know, I mean, I don't see anybody really running away from this division. I mean, I don't see the Eagles winning it, but I mean, yeah, you can make a case for the Cowboys winning it. You can make a case for the Giants winning it. You can make a case for the Washington football team winning it. You know, I think the Giants are one of the better, well-rounded teams. They have a very good defense, and they got a good offense. I mean, obviously, they got some weaknesses, you know. But, I mean, Washington football team, they're more like on their defensive side, you know. I think our wide receivers are better than theirs. Our running back is better than theirs. Our tight end is better than theirs. You know what I mean? Then you go for Dallas. Dallas is more on their offense, but their defense is a little weak. So I think the Giants are the most well-rounded, but that certainly doesn't mean that they're going to win. I mean, you know, crazy things happen, injuries happen, you know, so, and it's a 17-game schedule. And if worse comes to worse, I mean, you can even look at what happened last year. You know, I said a bounce here or a bounce there, an injury here or an injury there, or what happened in the game last year, a coaching decision here or a coaching decision there, a coaching decision meaning Peterson to pull Jalen Hurts out and let's lose this football game so we can get a better draft pick, you know. So all kinds of things can happen, all right? But, so, you know, I don't see anybody running away with it. I think it'll be competitive and it'll be exciting, you know. So we'll start off with the Washington football team, okay? There's only 15 guys left, all right, on the team from when Riverboat Ron Rivera took over last year. So he's cleaning house. This is his team. They're sinking or swimming with his guys, okay? They did very, very good in the draft. all four teams, I think, did very, very well in the draft. All right, they got Jamin Davis, the inside linebacker from Kentucky, in the first round. Like they really need more help on their defense. Well, they got it. Okay, then on their then they added on their offense. Okay, they added the tackle from Texas. They got Samuel Cosme. All right, so they added to the defense. They added to their offense. The one thing that I was kind of noticing is that nobody really added like any big free agents except for the Giants. We went out, we got pretty much like the best wide receiver. Okay, we got the best cornerback. We got a good tight end. You know, nobody, I mean, Washington, they signed Ryan Fitzmagic. All right, the Eagles signed Joe Flacco. They got, Minshew Mania. Yeah, I mean, so there was no real big, huge signings except for, I guess, from what the Giants did. But, I mean, you can go with the Washington football team. I mean, their defense, the yards per play, they were tied for second. They only gave a 4.9 yards per play last year. Turnovers in the whole NFL, they were tied for seventh. They got 23 turnovers on defense. First downs, they were number 3 in the whole NFL. They only gave up 289. Passing yards given up, they were number 2 in the whole NFL. They only gave up 3,068. Passing touchdowns, they were tied for second. They only gave up 21 passing touchdowns. The net yards per passing attempt, they were tied for second. They only gave up 5.3 yards per passing attempt. Total yards, they were number 2 in the whole NFL. They gave up 4,873. Sacks, they were number 6. They had 47 sacks. Quarterback pressures, okay, they were tied for 8. They had 25.9% of the time they pressured the quarterback. Yeah, I mean, you can go on and on with their defense. I mean, the defense was very, very good. Yeah, what they needed was offense, and, they also, in the 4th round, okay, they got Dyami Brown, the wide receiver from North Carolina. He's fast, 4.4 speed, fast. All right, so they add him to Terry McLaurin, all right, Curtis Samuel, and Adam Humphries. All right, so then you add Dyami Brown in there. They got a nice foursome there to throw the football to. So, Ryan Fitzmagic will have some weapons to throw his way. I mean, at his disposal to throw the ball to. The thing is with Ryan Fitzmagic, he's 39 years old. It's going to be his 17th season. Okay, this is his 9th NFL team he's been on. All right, his career record, his first 16 seasons, okay, is 59, 86, and 1. He doesn't have a winning record. Okay, he's 16 NFL seasons. He's played and he started games for his respective team in 14 of those 16 seasons. Okay, in those 14 seasons that he's actually started games, there's only been 3 years where he's actually had a winning record. Okay, last year he had a winning record. He was with Miami. He was 4-3. 2017, when he's with Tampa Bay, his winning record, he was 2-1. The only one that was any somewhat significance, okay, and they didn't even make the playoffs, was the 2015 Jets. They were 10-6. Okay. So out of his 14 seasons, only 3 of them he's had winning records. Okay. There's not been one team that he's played for, okay, that he has a winning record with. All right, that he's played, for any one of those 8 teams, all right, that he actually has a winning, when he's left that team, he's actually had a winning record with that team. Not one. As I said, he's been 16 seasons. He has not been in the playoffs one time. Make you think a little bit. I mean, I guess the Alex Smith, the last year, and Dwayne Haskins, they had a few quarterbacks last year. I mean, it just, but I mean, I guess they moved on from those guys, and I don't know if Ryan Fitzmagic is going to be a stopgap for him, and they're going to draft a quarterback next year or what. But I mean, they're going to need themselves a quarterback, and Ryan Fitzmagic can throw you in a game. He can also throw you out of a game, right? But he's 39. We'll have to wait and see. Okay. Now we'll go to Dallas. Okay. Now, what their defense was absolutely horrible. Okay, they gave up 473 points last year. They gave up 29.5 points per game. Absolutely horrible. what they did, their first 6 draft picks were all defense. They got Micah Parsons, all right, linebacker. They're using that dude everywhere. I see him outside, rushing the quarterback on the outside, on the run play, setting an edge. They got him lined up over the center. They see him dropping into coverage. I mean, they got the guy running all over the place. I mean, he's special. Right? They also drafted in the second round. They got Kelvin Joseph from the cornerback from Kentucky. So they did very well with the draft picks. Usually they do draft very well. But usually Jerry thinks more with his heart than his head, and a lot of times he just winds up picking offensive players. But this year they did well and they drafted defense. Now, can you just draft a whole bunch of young studs on defense and just throw them in there and you're good to go? Not always. Okay. So, I mean, they still got a ways to go. Now, with Dak, okay, on the offense, they got some questions. Obviously, they still got questions on defense. On the offense, how's Dak going to hold up? All right. I mean, you hear all these things, these wonderful stories. Oh, Dak's doing wonderful. He looks fantastic. He's throwing the ball with this and that. I mean, come on. It's a training camp. I mean, hasn't been in the game yet. Okay, he hasn't been facing live bullets yet. All right. So let's just slow your roll on some of those comments. All right. They only have one other quarterback. They got Cooper Rush, all right, who doesn't have not have a lot of NFL experience. Okay, Andy Dalton's not there anymore. All right, the only guy I looked on their roster, they got like 2 quarterbacks. They got Zeke and they got Pollard. They got 2 running backs. They got 3 tight ends, but one of them's hurt. So they got 2 quarterbacks. They got 2 running backs, and they got like 2 tight ends. I mean, as of right now, anyway, that's what I was seeing. Their offensive line, the guys are getting a little bit older. Okay. And a lot of their studs from last year, like Collins didn't play at all last year. Zach Martin missed 6 games last year, and Tyron Smith only played in 2 games. Okay, so they got some guys that have been, they're studs on the offensive line. Were hurt last year. Can they come back healthy? Can they come back, and open up those holes? Can they come back and protect that? Because he's going to need to be protected. And what's going on with his shoulder? Is that something, it's going to linger all season long? I mean, that might be, you throw the ball 40, 50, 60 times a game. I mean, you're throwing the ball in practice and all this, that might linger all year long. All right? So, they got some questions. I mean, without question, they have, their wide receivers are absolutely phenomenal. Gallup, ABCD, Lamb, and Cooper, phenomenal. Zeke Elliott, fumbled the ball quite a bit last year. I didn't see a lot of this last year from him either. I didn't see much. I saw a lot of fumbles, all right, but I didn't see a lot of that, okay? Tyler Biadasz, the center they drafted, he jumped in front of the Giants last year in the draft and picked him up. He was a nice pick up there and all, but, but I said their offensive line is, is getting older, and they were all hurt last year. Okay, so they got some questions. All right, so I said if you want to tell me that they want to win a division, I wouldn't argue with it. It's quite possible, right? But they have their questions. Washington football team, they got their question. Philadelphia Eagles, they certainly got themselves some questions. Last year they were only they were like in the bottom half of the offense and the defense last year. They only averaged 20.9 points per game, which was just a little bit better than what the Giants did. Okay, their defense gave up 26.1 points per game, which was not very good. Very good. That's in the bottom half of the league, too. They were number 24 in overall total yards. Their defense was number 19 in total yards given up. So they were in the bottom half of a lot of statistical categories, okay? The coach ain't there no more. They got Jalen Hurts. They got 3 quarterbacks. They say if you got 2 quarterbacks, you don't have any. Right? Well, they got 3. They got Joe Flacco. All right, Joe Flacco. They got the Gardner Minshew, okay? And then they got Jalen Hurts. All right, so, what's it going to be if Jalen Hurts comes? They're going to bring him in, throw Flacco in there, Flacco out for Gardner Minshew. I'd start Gardner Minshew. If he throws a couple of interceptions, bring Joe Flacco. Who are they going to go with? I know Jalen Hurts is the starting quarterback for game one. That's been announced, all right, but you have to wait and see. I mean, they did a very good job drafting. I mean, obviously, we don't have to go over the DeVonta Smith thing, all right, but you got to give them credit. They went and they got him. It's a very good pick. And then they got, obviously, Landon Dickerson, all right, the center from Alabama. They got two guys from Alabama for a second round. Two very good picks right there. But their offensive line, they're getting old too. They're actually, as a team, they're old too. All right, they have 10 guys on their roster who have 9 years of experience or more. All right, they're old. The Giants have 5. One of them is obviously Graham Gano. Right? I mean the kicker. All right, Mike Lennon. He has more than 9 years, I think. I mean, it's Nate Solder. You know what I mean? But I said the Eagles have 10 guys who have 9 years or more experience. Right? The Washington football team only has 2. All right? The Dallas Cowboys only have 3. So between the Giants, the Washington football team, and the Cowboys, we got some young guys. We've got some young teams. The Eagles got some old guys, and they're gonna have to start replacing some of those guys. Okay, so. And then we have that first-year coach Nick Sirianni. All right, now he had some very good success, in his coaching career. Now, of late, he was with the Indianapolis Colts. Okay, he did very, very well there. But you don't know what kind of coach he's going to be. And if he winds up struggling this year, that doesn't certainly mean he's a bad coach. He might turn it around next year or the year after that. But you have no idea what kind of coach he's going to be. All right, as I said, he could struggle this year. I mean, point in hand. I mean, Bill Parcells, okay? I mean, he was the linebackers coach for Texas Tech from 1975 to 1977. Somehow he got the head coaching job for Air Force in 1978. And he was 3-8. They won their first 2 games that season. They started off 2-0. Then they lost 8 of their next 9 games, and they wound up 3-8. Okay? He didn't, who would have thought he would be a Hall of Fame NFL coach after that one season? And even when he did get to the Giants, his first year with the New York Football Giants, he was 3-12-1 in 1983. 1984, if he had another bad season, he was probably going to be fired. He turned it around and we wound up 9-7, and we wound up going to the playoffs, and we beat the Rams, and then we lost to the 49ers. But but as I said, his first 2 coaching seasons, he only won 3 games with Air Force, and he was 3-12-1 with the Giants. Absolutely pathetic. Who would have thought he could have turned it around, right? It was the same thing with Nick Sirianni. I mean, if they do bad this year, say they win only 4 or 5 games, right? Certainly doesn't mean he won't turn around. But you have no idea what kind of coach he's going to be. He could be bad this year, and he could be just a bad coach. You know what I mean? So, they got. I just don't see them. I mean, I don't know who the quarterback's going to wind up being. I mean, they put Jalen Hurts in now. Is he going to finish the season as the starting quarterback? I don't see it. Joe Flacco is not the answer. Maybe Gardner Minshew. Who knows? If they wind up doing bad, they'll wind up picking early in next year's draft, and then maybe they can pick, a quarterback. So I mean, the Eagles. I don't see it. I mean, I don't see them. I said then we go obviously to the Giants. And I said that with the Giants, the Giants added to their defense. They added to their offense. A lot of it is going to depend upon the Giants. Will wind up being their offensive line. Are they going to be that bad all year long? They may be bad in the beginning, and they'll slowly get better as time goes by. What's injuries going to do for them? I mean, we've had a lot of guys injured in training camp, right? We're going to be able to get those guys healthy. Are they going to be able to? Is Golladay going to be able to stay healthy? Kadarius Toney, is he going to be able to stay healthy? Is John Ross going to come back? What's Saquon? Is he going to be able to run? Is he going to be able to stay healthy? Daniel Jones has missed time both his first 2 seasons. Is he going to be able to stay healthy? The guys on the offensive line, they're going to be able to stay healthy. I mean, so you just don't know with the Giants. There's so many questions. I mean, especially now, it's a 17-game season, right? It's going to be, a long season. Guys are going to get injured. Things are going to happen. And, you really just don't know. All I can really say is it's probably going to be a very interesting race. Probably going to come down to the last couple of weeks, and I can certainly see either the Cowboys, the Washington football team, or the New York Giants winning the NFC East and going to the playoffs. Now, we're going to have 2 teams go to the playoffs. I don't see that happening. And whoever does wind up winning the division, are they going to, whoever winds up winning the division, they're going to make a big run at the Super Bowl? Probably not. But as I said, it's going to be an interesting season, And hopefully when it's all said and done, the Giants come out on top. Well, as always, guys, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out this video. You guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo!